Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with a chop and chat. So this was a really impromptu video. One night I just started pulling stuff out of my spring melting basket that still needed to be chopped, and I thought, let me chop some of it so that it's ready to go. And then I was like, why not just record it and we'll just have a little short and sweet chop and chat. I did get some questions on my chop and chat post, so thank you all so much. If you submitted a question, I'll get through what I can get through, and then if there's any more questions, I'll put them for the next chop and chat. So Courtney from Courtney's Scent Society asked, what is your favorite thing about having a pet? And I love this question so much. If you guys follow me, I'm sure you can tell how obsessed I am with my dog Rip. My favorite thing about having a pet is always having someone to come home to. It doesn't feel like I live alone in a way. I'm not married. I don't have any children. No roommates or anything like that. So it feels like somebody else is there when I get home and he's excited to see me. And then, just that companionship of not coming home to an empty house and somebody always being excited to see you. That is one of my favorite parts about having a pet. They give just such unconditional love. And yeah, I could list off 1,000 things, but I would say that is my favorite one. Just having somebody to kind of come home to. Courtney also asked, what are the top 3 places on your travel bucket list? So I really love to travel. It's been a little bit harder, obviously, since I have Rip, but I still try to go on at least like one really good trip a year, if all possible. And then I take like little side trips or weekend trips or things like that. So the 3 places on my travel bucket list. I definitely want to explore more of like the Oregon coast and Pacific Northwest area. I've only very small, minutely been able to explore those areas when I went to Alaska a couple of summers ago, but more of just like the Pacific Northwest, exploring like Crater Lake, things like that is definitely high on my list. That's one area of the world I haven't been yet, at least area of the United States I haven't been yet. As far as kind of farther destinations outside of the States, Scotland is very, very high on my list. Probably my number 1 place outside of the country that I would like to travel to is Scotland. I think everything, it looks so beautiful there. I would love to go on like the little Harry Potter tour where you can see locations that Harry Potter's kind of based off of, or filming locations. I just think it's such a stunning place. The plane ride across the pond is a little scary to me. I'm not a big flyer. It's one thing to fly from St. Louis across the United States, a couple of hours, but it's another thing to fly across the ocean for me. So that one I have to kind of work myself up for, but one of these days I'm definitely going to get over there. And then an even bigger one is like Australia, New Zealand area. And that's something I've thought about doing maybe for my 40th birthday. I know that's 10 years away. I just turned 30 this past fall, but I think some kind of big event in my life, maybe I would celebrate by doing something like that and take like a cruise over there or something. But again, that's quite a long way. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I would say those are like 3 big places on my bucket list, like the Pacific Northwest, the United States, Scotland, and then Australia, New Zealand area, although I would love to go back to Alaska as well. And then Courtney also asked, how has the wax community impacted you? Yeah, this is such a tough question because in so many ways. So I have been doing YouTube for close to 10 years now. And so I've been in the wax community for a really long time. And so my answer kind of depends on what time of my life we're talking about. So originally when I started doing YouTube, I was doing makeup videos and like Project Pan videos and things like that. And then I've always been into Bath and Body Works and their candles. So I was doing a lot of Bath and Body Works and candle content. I started buying Walmart wax, started watching videos, started watching Scentsy stuff, buying Scentsy wax, and it kind of went from there. So YouTube in general and the wax community really got me into wax back in the day. I've always, since I was a little girl, loved anything that smelled good, but definitely wasn't into like melting wax or anything like that. My mom would burn candles occasionally, but she's not into anything like that. And so I really discovered the wax community when I started YouTube all those years ago. So it's impacted me in different ways. You know, I met my Scentsy consultant at the time who turned me on to vendor wax. So that was super impactful to me. The wax community, as far as people that have been doing videos, has changed a lot over the years. But no matter what kind of season of life it's been in, I've always connected with other people making these types of videos. And so that has been super impactful. And now I feel like, you know, there's more people making wax videos than ever before. And we just have a great community of people talking about wax. And it's so much bigger than it ever used to be, at least from what I can remember, than when I first started doing YouTube. It's so much bigger now than it ever was. And I think that's such a blessing. For one, that so many people are supporting these vendors that are into wax in general, that we have this sense of community where we can talk about things that interest us. And I've said this so many times, but for me, you know, I don't have anybody in my personal life that's into these types of topics. And so it's really impacted me so much in a positive way to have individuals to talk about these things with, and nobody think you're crazy, or you know, everybody understands and has the same temptations, loves, the same interest as you do. And so that has been such a blessing. I can't even imagine my life, honestly, without the wax community and without doing YouTube, because it has impacted at least my, you know, the last 10 years of my life, you know, so much. So that has impacted me a ton. But not only the people making videos, but the people that watch my videos and comment. There are a couple people that have truly watched me since day one, and I've gotten to know them and interact with them, you know, on a personal level, and become friends with them. And that is amazing. I have met people from all walks of life, all ages, all across the world. And I love that, you know, people maybe that you wouldn't necessarily interact with or be friends with if you saw them out, you know, I don't know, if they lived in your area or something, because you don't have something to bond over. But YouTube gives us this platform, and the wax community in general gives us this platform to connect with people of all ages, all genders, all across the world. And I think that is so amazing about the wax community. I love that so much. Yeah, so long answers, but the wax community has impacted me in tremendous ways. And I am so grateful for the connections that I've made, and my channel, and everybody that watches. It's such a huge, huge blessing. Next question is from Emily Rolls 3171. What inspired you to start buying Scentsy and vendor wax, and how did you discover them? So I mentioned this just a second ago, but like I said, when I started doing YouTube, always was into candles, but then I was buying like Walmart and like Goose Creek, things like that. I started watching Mr. Kong's mom, Melanie from Mr. Kong's mom, a lot back in the day, I think. I can't remember exactly how I first met my Scentsy consultant, but after that, she started sending me friend mail with sarsaparilla aroma wax in it. That was the way that I first I first discovered vendor wax in general was through her sending me vendor wax through the mail. And then I started buying it, started watching videos, and the obsession went from there, and here we are today. Jenny asked, what scents or blends do you enjoy or love today that you used to not like? Yeah, a lot of them actually. So I used to really only love bakery scents for the most part. I liked a lot of pink sugar or like pink sugar bakery type vibes. That was really what I got started with a lot in wax. I've always loved beach nights. Like I said, my first vendor wax that I ever smelled was Montego Bay from Sarsaparilla Aroma. So I've been into the beach nights for a really long time. But one scent, the first thing that comes to mind, one scent that I used to absolutely hate, and I could not understand how people liked it. I couldn't understand why they would want to warm it in their home, is pine. Pine and pine cone. I did not get it at all. And it's so funny because now those are some of my favorite scents ever. I absolutely love roasted pine cone. I love the tree blends. And I never used to like them, and I never would have guessed that I would be into that at all. And kind of on that same vibe, that same length, I would say just earthy blends in general. I never used to really be into earthy, and now I like earthy blends so much more than I like bakery most of the time. I never would have expected that at all. Another blend is dirt. I think I've become known for how much I love dirt, and don't get me wrong, I can't melt dirt every single day, obviously, but I love dirt in the springtime and in the fall, especially on like a rainy fall day. It's just something about the earthiness. I like my scent to match kind of what is happening outside and the weather and the time of year. And so dirt has been something that I have really enjoyed. But those are the ones I would say for sure are dirt, pine, etc. On the opposite note, I used to absolutely love sweet plum pastry. I mean, obsessed with it. And I still think it's a pretty scent. I still enjoy it, but I don't love it like I used to. So that one, it's almost gone in the opposite direction. So it's amazing how much your scents, your preferences have changed, how much they change. So always try new things, you guys. Just get a small amount of something occasionally. Give something a try. You never know, because our noses absolutely change and they evolve. And it's a lot to do with your hormones and things like that too. So you never know, something that you thought you might never have enjoyed, you actually might really like. So Lisa asked, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go and why? So I semi-answered this question already, but I'm going to take this as, if I had all the money in the world, if money wasn't a thought, where would I go? And I would go to the Maldives, and I would get one of those little huts over the water, and that's where I would stay for like a solid couple of weeks. That is absolutely what I would do. Like if money wasn't an option and I could fly to the Maldives, stay at one of those little huts, have, the butler, the room service, all of that, and jump off of the hut into the water every day, that would be my dream. That would definitely be my dream. It would be so relaxing. The ocean right at your fingertips. I could think of nothing more perfect than that. So different spin on that question, but since I kind of answered it already, if I could go anywhere, that definitely would be it. So Melissa from Melissa Johnson Haight here on YouTube, name your top 10 favorite blends of all time from any vendor or retail, your ride or dies. I think I need to make this a whole video because I really need to think it through, and that would be so tough. My ride or dies. Like top 10, like I could pick top 10 for a vendor, but top 10 ride or dies. I'm definitely going to do that video. So thank you, Melissa, for that question. Let's stay tuned and see, because I really need to think about that. But I think that is such a good idea. Like, what are the top favorites? Oh my gosh. I feel like I did this before, or maybe I think I did my top 10 summer scents. So this will be top 10 of all time. Oh my gosh, that's so hard. I can think of one automatically that I know would be in there. So stay tuned for that. Let's make that a whole video because I need to think that through a little bit more, and that could be so fun. Okay, Happily Scented Homes asked, what's one TV show or movie that's highly popular that you're embarrassed to say you've never watched? I wouldn't say I'm embarrassed, but I definitely have this thing where if something is super hyped up, for whatever reason, I don't have any interest in watching it. Do you guys feel that way? I don't know. If something is super hyped up, I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch it. I don't know what's wrong with me. But she mentions Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. I've also never watched those. Stranger Things, I never watched. A movie that I've never watched that a lot of people, when I say that, they're like, what, you've never seen this movie? No, is Grease. I've never watched it. I could sing you every word to the songs in Grease, but I've never actually seen it. Yeah, so not embarrassed per se, but definitely odd. I feel like most people have seen these things and I haven't, but that's such a fun question. I don't know if there's anything else that I can think of on the top of my head, but yeah, Grease. I've also never seen Star Wars. I have seen Lord of the Rings. Yeah. What else? And then the last question I'm going to do for this Chop and Chat is from Candace, who is also here on YouTube. She asked, who is your favorite musician or artist of all time? Oh, this is so tough. So I kept thinking about it and going back and forth and picking different people. But I think if I had to choose one, it would be Kenny Chesney. I love his music. I love his old 90s, early 2000s music. I love that he kind of has a Jimmy Buffett feel to me. A lot of his music's very beachy and nautical in nature. I absolutely love his stuff. Other musicians that came to me, or bands that came to my mind that I was like trying to go back and forth with, is Fleetwood Mac. Big Stevie Nicks fan. I love her so much. A lot of classic rock, you guys. I love a good like 60s, 70s, 80s music. I love Bob Seger. I love CCR. Who else? I would say those are probably some of my favorites. I love Bon Jovi. I love John Mellencamp. Yeah, anything that fits into that like classic rock type era are some of my favorite artists ever. Favorite music genre in general. And then I gotta say Jimmy Buffett as well, because he's just the greatest and speaks to my beachy, loving heart. But that is it for the questions, and that's it for this Chop and Chat. I want to thank you all so much for those of you that submitted questions to me. And like I said, I'm going to definitely do a whole video on Melissa's question about my top 10 like all-time favorite scents. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a really great rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon in my next one. Bye.